Like I forgot to record that one thing. Going agency manager in 6 months. All right, we'll see how many show up, man. We had like, what, 50, 57 on Monday or Tuesday, 51 on Wednesday. So, man, I'm hoping we can get some people back on today, Thursday night. I know a lot of people are planning on just kind of 2 days. And I know some people are out in the field now with their uplines. So that's okay. That's why I record these so that y'all can kind of get the playback. But anyways, let's get this party started. Thank you for coming out. Let's see who we all got on here. Anthony Perkins, we got Becky, Bob, Brandon Smith, Charlene, Charles Fisher, Harriet, my man James Chamberlain, Jeanette, Jeffrey C. Hey, Jeffrey C., how you doing, buddy? Good to see you, man. You got your shirt on. All right, dude. Rockin'. All right. Maddie's on. Maddie and Mido. That's funny here. There's Maddie and there's Mido. Vicky Roden, Myra. Myra, you have like the only name I know. It's spelled Myra. We got Ronald, Shania, Tanya, Lewis, Brenda's on. Let me get this recorded. Who's calling us from 608 513?
Hello, Alex. It's the Crazy Cat Lady.
It's Kimberly. You know, it's funny how now you just say that, and I know who it is. Awesome. So I got Kimberly Olson on. She's blowing it up there in Madison, Wisconsin. So that is cool. So let's mute everybody. All right. So we got 24 on. Now, this is actually not bad for unexpected going into a third day. So I was talking to some people about not trying to cram too much all in, like, you know, like having 2-3 hour sessions, because man, that's not good for you and definitely not good for me. I mean, I could do it, but I mean, I can't imagine sitting out the other end of a TV screen listening to me jabber for 3 hours with no break, you know. I mean, you obviously can take a break whenever you want, but I don't know that that's very good. So I like keeping it, I don't know, I kind of like the way it's gone, you know, a couple hours for the first session, like an hour and a half on the second session, and maybe we go an hour to hour and a half on this session. So it's kind of like, you know, your attention span, you know, is not taxed too much. And again, because I'm recording these, I'm going to send it out to you on the email blast that you can just kind of get, you know, get the hang of it and re-listen to it and maybe fast forward to certain parts. I'm going to lay at your feet at the end of the session a ton of resources that you can reference, where if you really, you know, when you want to dig in, you can dig in. But I don't want you to not start getting leads and booking appointments. I want you to do that. I want you to get out there, because you need some experience to start getting better. And you can't just be in an pure academic environment before you know, and try to simulate all the scenarios and then get out there. It will never happen that way. And you will always feel uncomfortable. You'll always feel on your first appointment nervous. You're not going to feel prepared. So you kind of embrace that feeling already, because you are not. I don't care how well prepared you try to become, you still are going to feel unprepared going out to anything for the first time. Now, what will help with that is practicing with people, you know, just getting with folks and practicing. That'll help you feel more confident. But, you know, I believe that you earn your confidence in the business by reps. You know, how often can you go through it with people? All right. So, so let's get things kicked off with a prayer. Lord, help me. Impart your wisdom on on the people that are attending here today. Anyway, so we're going to cover sales. This is the in-home appointment specifically. And like I was saying before, there's really no one in the Alliance that teaches it the way that I do based on my experience as a President's Club member for Sandler Sales System, which is just a really incredible system. And we kind of adopted parts of it, 5 of the 7 steps on our program, because our program is a little bit unique because we have a lead. Okay, so some of you may never have heard of Sandler, David Sandler, who started the Sandler system years ago. He's a New Jersey guy, and he incorporated a lot of neurolinguistic programming in it, a lot of, what is it that I'm okay, you're okay type of transactional analysis, a lot of those kind of things. And that's what I grew up on. And that's really, when you look at the evolution of our sales system, that's really what it's gravitated to, is that process, and we've adapted it. So I am not hiding the fact that we take this from the Sandler system. And in fact, the CEO of Sandler gave me a call, honestly, because he saw all my stuff out on YouTube, and he gave me a call to find out, okay, am I a certified President's Club member of Sandler? Which I am. I should just like carry this as like a lanyard around my neck when I go into sales appointments, right? Yay, Sandler. So I am a President's Club member. I paid 10 grand to become a lifetime member. I'm a big fan of it. And we had a chit chat. We had a nice chit chat. He wanted to check me out. And I said, man, I endorse your books. I endorse your system. I don't hide anything. That the stuff I teach comes from the Sandler system, plus other stuff that I do with neurolinguistic programming. And he was really kind of fired up. I mean, I teach it like, you know, I don't really put any spin on it other than my experience. And I told him that we sell a ton of his books. You know, that one book they have, it's You Can't Learn to Ride a Bike in a Seminar. That book rocks. There's a lot of really great Sandler books. You ought to go on eBay and try to get as much of the Sandler stuff as you can, because that stuff rocks. So he said he was going to talk to his lawyers and, you know, just check it out. And then he calls me back and says, man, keep doing what you're doing. You are endorsing us. You're not trying to hide it. Because he's caught other people trying to spin their system and call it all kinds of different things, but it is in essence the same thing. You know, I make no bones about it because I think the system rocks. And, you know, so that's the basis of this sales process, is that, okay? So I want you guys to know that it comes from a very sound system, and the way that I've adapted it is like exactly what we do here, you know? So I'm gonna use a lot of the same language of the phases in the process, all right? So when I say the code words for Sandler, it is that. I'm not going to try to, you know, and there's a reason why they call it that. So I just want you to make sure you understand that. All right, we got 29 on, so hey man, that's pretty good. Okay, so let's get rocking, man. Let's get this show on the road. All right, man, I'm going to the whiteboard right away. All right, so the essence of our system is the Alliance Training Manual. This beautiful instrument right here, this little flip chart scenario that we go through with the client, you know, this is what we use, man. We flip through this, flip through this, flip through this. And the submarine, the ATM submarine is what I'm going to call it, is all in here, man, and it rocks. And it's something that will really get you to the point where you're closing 55% of the people you're sitting with right off the bat, which is pretty darn good if you follow it, all right? So let's talk about that whole idea of following it, right? So when you go into the selling situation, okay, you've got two choices. Choice number one is you could use the client sales system. Okay, what is the client sales system? The client sales system is they'll create bond and rapport for you, with you. They want to be nice to you. They're going to lure you in. They're going to suck you into their web. They're going to be so nice. And you think, oh, wow, this is like, oh, this is a done deal. They suck you in. They tell you how much they really need it, right? And you're thinking, oh, wow, this is going to be easy, right? And then what they do is they make you give up your prices. You give them quotes. And they ask all these smart questions. Oh, that's a really good quote, Alex. What does that involve? Oh man, that's got the critical illness rider and it's got the death benefit and the terminal illness. Man, that is so awesome. We love that. And you're thinking, all right, man, it's all over but the shout, and I want to write this baby up. And you're not even asking for the sale because, you don't need to, you think. So you start fumbling around saying, okay, well, let's go ahead and get this going. And they say, oh, Alex, we appreciate you coming over. You are one of the nicest, best sales people we've ever met, the most knowledgeable. I tell you, your level of professionalism is just off the chain. We are very blessed to have you in our home, but we just really we're just looking at rates. We're just wanting to think about it. We're just thinking that, you know what, and Alex, though you did a great job, we really appreciate you. You know what, when we decide to do something, we're going to call you. We are going to call you. Oh man, that's just so funny, isn't it? And then they take you to the think about it. You're dead in the water. So if you want to follow the client system, it always ends because they're going to close you 100% of the time that they want to think about it. And then you're stuck and you walk away with nothing. You gave up your pricing so they can shop you, and they'll never get back with you. 1 out of 100 will ever call you back. And that is the client system. So the other alternative is our ATM system, right? And our ATM system is a phase that we take control and we put the client through bond rapport, finding pain, upfront contract, fulfillment, post-sale. We take them through the 5 phases of the Sandler system, and victory is yours, at least 55 to 75% of the time. Really, because 20 or 25% really don't deserve to be clients. If you start closing 100% of the people you sit with, you are doing something wrong, man. You are arm twisting people. You're putting pressure on them, and they're going to cancel their policies, man. They're going to cancel their policies. Yeah, don't call us, we'll call you. This is how it goes down, man. This is how it goes down. So you have that choice, either doing this or doing this. I'd rather do this 100% of the time. I'd rather do this badly than doing this excellently here. Okay? So that is the process. It's funny, I interviewed an English guy today. It was really cool. This guy named Pete out in Northern Kentucky. And I don't know what it is about English accents, man, but those guys sound like geniuses. They sound like professors. He sound way smarter than me, man. And this guy's really looking to get in and wanting to do this. And it's just really funny how that is. Anyway, so question here is, where do we get the info for the presentation? It was on that preparation website that I sent you to when you signed up. When you signed up for the bootcamp registration, oh, like maybe you didn't sign up. So once you're licensed and you officially sign up for this bootcamp, you're sent to our prep page to download this presentation. So I don't think, Jeff, do you got your license yet? Oh, you just did? Yeah, you print it off. So let me go there. Hold on. In fact, I don't, Jeff, have you been on all the, so this is the bootcamp prep page. And here it says download the ATM PowerPoint, click here. And then it downloads. And it's a PowerPoint. And that's what it looks like. And then you put it in the slip sheets. So you order these tent sheets, this tent folder on my website. Actually, you can order, I'll talk about it later, but you can order it out of the new agent orientation pack. You'll get one of these. And then you print this out, and then you slip it in the slip sheets in here. I got a cute little video on how to do that. And so this is the ATM. So this is what I'm talking about, the ATM, where the whole submarine process is in here. So let me go back. I'm kind of off track here. Let's get back on track. All right. So let's talk about, why is it called a submarine? All right. So let's go through the basic phases of the ATM submarine. And each slide kind of supports each one of the phases. So I said the first one is bond and rapport. I'm going to go over each one in detail, not excruciating detail. Finding pain. Next one is upfront contract. You're taking your client all the way through all this. Fulfillment of the contract. This is where you lay out the pricing. This is the post-sale. Okay. Now, what do I call it? A submarine. So let's kind of draw the submarine. So forgive my, for all you submariners out there, we'll put a little rotor. All right, and we'll put a little torpedo tube. So when you don't close the client, they want to think about it, you can fire your torpedo and blow their house up. No, just kidding. What does the ATM stand for? It stands for Alliance Training Manual. It was originally called the Alliance Sales System. The only problem with it being called Alliance Sales System is the acronym is not as good as Alliance Training Manual acronym, ATM. So ATM is where you get money, and that's what we're doing here. This is the way you make money. So the philosophy of the submarine system is that you're not allowed to go to the next compartment until you've closed this compartment. So that's the thing about submarines, why if they take a hit somewhere, they can survive because they can close off a compartment from filling with water, from filling the rest of the compartments of the sub. They stand a chance to survive. And so that's why we call it the submarine, because you got to do bond and rapport before you go to pain finding. If you don't do bond and rapport right, man, you'll never get pain finding right. So you got to do this part good. And when you got this part done really well, okay, I'll use better English, I promise. You close the compartment. You close it. You're done with bond and rapport. You got it done. Now you're allowed to go into the pain finding process. And then when you got really drilled down the pain and got it so it's so emotional, then you spin the thing and you close this compartment. And then you go to the upfront contract. You got that done. You go to fulfillment. You got that done. You see how you got to do each phase well before you move forward. If you do not, then you're not allowed to move forward. And many times when you don't take care of the client, because you get down to here, but you didn't do the pain finding well enough, because you get to think about it, they'll pop that one out on you because you didn't do the pain finding process, and because you didn't do this well enough. You didn't do this well enough because you didn't create enough good bond and rapport for them to trust you. All right. So that's why this is a beautiful system that describes our selling process. Now, most people that teach the ATM, they tell you this is how they do it. All right, this is what you got to do. Now read this. We are a national alliance of agents working together to provide mortgage, final expense, life insurance, and retirement protection to our clients. Our company is hiring. Do you know anyone that could help us out? Okay, then go to the next page. Let me tell you about me. I was born on a U.S. naval base in Morocco, grew up in many states with my dad in the Navy. Okay. All right, this is how you read that slide. Now, this is how you read this slide. Oh, you can't really read it. This is about me. This is my wife. This is my insurance license. These are the companies I represent. What is your financial picture? What is your height and weight? Do you use tobacco? Why is this important? Most people request information for 104 reasons. You know what I mean? That teaches you what to say on every slide. And then they say, all right, brother. All right, sister. Good luck. Here's your ATM. Good luck. Call me. Call me when you sold it. And that's why people in the alliance, it's like, oh my gosh, they like fail. Especially the top producers, when they try to teach them their slick, fancy process, they get mad when the agent that they're trying to mentor cannot do it exactly like they've done after their 30 years of experience selling, right? And they're 10 years with the alliance doing this over and over and over and over and over again. They get mad at the new person because they're not as good as them. Well, yeah. So that's why I put a framework. This is the idea here, gang, is you got to know what you're trying to accomplish at every phase in the business. And every slide in the ATM supports the phase that you're trying to accomplish. That's the beauty of this, is that bond rapport is bond rapport, man. Of course, you're going to bond rapport all through the thing, but you're going to create it big time at the beginning. Once you've done that, then you go into pain finding. Why the client is hurting. What is their problem? Because one thing for sure, gang, if you don't find a problem, you aren't selling them nothing. I don't want you to sell them anything. I don't want you to spend one more second in that house if there is no pain. The biggest problem with agents is they think they can get the client to buy something, and it's not about getting the client to buy something. It's about getting the client to uncover their problem, and then we're the doctor that we're sent in to figure out how to fix it. That's the essence of pain finding. So once you got their pain and you found it with the ultimate of emotion for them, where it really hurts, then you lock it down. This is where you get rid of the think about it stall by putting an upfront contract with them saying that, okay, because you have this pain, this is what I'm going to do, and this is what you're going to do. And tonight's not a think about it night. Does that sound good to you, Joe and Mary? Because you said you had this problem, I'm going to help you fix it. And if they say, yeah, sounds good, then you can close this compartment and move on. If they say, well, maybe, I don't know, we were just looking to, when you start getting that, then you have to go back to the pain finding. You got to back up because you didn't do this well enough, and then you go back to it. And then if you still can't get them to commit to the contract, where tonight's not a think about it night, they're going to submit an app, and then we're going to get them approved, well, then you're walking out of there. You're not showing them prices. That's what this is. You're going to show them their options. You're going to walk out of there with your head held high, not letting them get the best of you, and you're walking out. But if they agree to the process, then we're going to take them through the process of finding out their health so we know what pricing that they can qualify for, hopefully. Then after the pricing's done and they pick one, we write it up electronically on electronic application, as remember the first night. And then we're going to move them to the post-sale process, which is the ERS, which is finding annuities, the green sheet process, which is telling we're going to call them back, which is showing them our policy, right? So we're going to lock them in, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Boom, it's a done deal. You went from beginning to end, closed every compartment, and it is a done deal, man. And it is a lockdown sale. Now it's not going to prevent people that change their mind. You know, that will happen, but it'll happen very minimally, right? You're going to minimize those inevitable things. You know, in the restaurant industry or the supermarket industry, they call it spoilage, right? You're going to have the minimum of those placement persistency numbers because you did this process correctly. Do you see how this works? So every slide, and let me flip through here and show you kind of which slides fit. This slide is bond and rapport. 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 This slide is bond and rapport transitioning to pain. Because you know their financial, once you know their financial picture, then you can identify the pain. So this is a transitional slide to pain. Now what sets pain up? The pain process sets up with kind of setting them up with the question of why is this important? Okay, this is a general insurance slide. You may not, these are the optional slides where, you know, if it's a mortgage protection, you go to this slide, what is mortgage protection? If it's final expense, you go to final expense, okay? So the first one, why is this important? It's general insurance, like on a newlywed lead. Mortgage protection is for mortgage protection lead, and final expense is a final expense lead. So you just go to the which one. So this sets up your pain finding process, okay? This, what happens next is upfront contract. This is where you lock down the client's commitment to want to take care of what they need to take care of in order to take care of the pain that they had. This is one slide, upfront contract. And then the next slide is fulfillment, laying out the prices and getting them commit. And then the next slide is the post-sale, emergency response system, prescription discount cards, safe money for annuities. And then the final questions, this is the tie down. Do you feel good about taking care of your family today? And then the recruiting slide. Do you know anyone that might be interested in doing what I'm doing? Do you see how that works? Do you see how this is a tight program that guides you through the client, with the client through this process? Other people call it a planned conversation. It is a planned conversation. You are not memorizing anything. Well, the only thing you're memorizing is what you're trying to accomplish at each phase in the sales process. Does that make sense? So bang, 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 bang. That's how simple it is, man. That's how simple it is. Okay? So, so let's go into detail. Yeah, it is very straightforward, isn't it? I mean, look, if you just follow what you're trying to accomplish and make sure that you've accomplished it, if you're thinking about it all the time, then the slides are easy. What makes the slides hard is you don't know what you're doing with that slide. You think it's about repeating the words, okay? So I'm going to explain each thing, but I'm going to take you through just a speed through. This is a speed through. Anyone ever in theater? You ever been in theater? I've done a ton of theater. I've done commercials. I've done film. But I've done a lot of theater, stage theater, musical theater. I remember doing we call it speed through rehearsal, where we go through it's like we've already put the show up and it's like the third week of doing a show. And then we do a speed through rehearsal where we go through all the blocking, we spit our things out really fast. So we all just kind of remember what we're supposed to do on stage. We call it a speed through. So, we're not doing it, maybe it's a half an hour, 45 minutes for a 2.5 hour play or something, or a musical. I mean, we're speeding through everything. So I'm going to show you the speed through of this. I don't think I've ever actually done a speed through on the ATM before. So I'm going to mark through this so that you kind of get a feel. So it's more like the 30,000 square foot view. So I've not done it before, so let me just do it like this and let's see if this comes off. This could be just a terrible waste of time, in which case I will cut this out of the video. But you're here to share this with me. And we could have a little fun. Anyway, it's like the last night, might as well. And the Warriors are playing. No one tell me what the score is. I'm just afraid they're going to lose. See, I'm such a Warriors fan. This is like insight. I get so worked up. And since KD hurt his Achilles tendon, I'm just fearful they're going to lose. I can't watch them lose. So I would rather not watch them and find out they won. And then I'll watch the recording. But if I found out they lost, then I'm not going to watch the recording. Is that weird or what? You have no idea how crazy I get watching a basketball game. Like, I will be cussing and swearing at the TV, knowing that I'm going to go to confession the next day for cussing and swearing. Oh, man. Anyway, so please be kind. Don't tell me what the score is. Okay, so I'm going to speed through this. And, oh gosh, you're like that too, Shania? Okay, my girl, you know what I'm talking about. I just can't watch it. I just can't. It's like terrible. Okay, speed through. Hello, Joe and Mary. I'm Alex, and hey, man, gosh, what a nice place you have here. You guys live here long? How did you two met? Oh, wow, you met. Oh, that's cool. My wife and I met. We were doing musical theater and blah, blah, blah. And wow, that's really cool. Did you move out here from somewhere? And then bon rapport. All right, well, tell you what, let me kind of run through this so, I can figure out what we're going to do to help you. We're a national alliance of agents and agencies that help families with mortgage protection, retirement protection, et cetera. And that's why I'm here to help you. Let me tell you a little bit about me. I was born on a naval base in Morocco. That's why I'm African American. I'll always do that. Boom, boom, boom. Tell them a little bit about me. How about you? Tell them about you. Lived here long. I got my degree at the Air Force Academy. Your kids go to school around here. I just ask them, about them because I tell them about me. I have never done this. So Glad I have Katie. Ouch, my Achilles tendon hurts. Don't say that. All right, so about me, and I find out about them. By the way, a portion of my commissions goes to feed hungry children. This is a picture of my hungry children. I actually use that because they laugh every time. So I show them, this is my lovely wife, this is my license, blah, blah, blah. Here are the companies I represent, blah, blah, blah. So let me find out about you. And then I pull out the green sheet. The green sheet's a new thing. I never use the green sheet to actually put client information on. I usually turn the lead over. I turn the lead over and then write it down. Notice I'm still bond report. Like all this is bond report. So let's find out about you, height and weight, blah, blah, blah. Kind of get their basics. All right. Now let me tell you either why this is important. Let's just go with the final expense. Let's say it's a final expense. Well, actually, mortgage protection is more fun. But anyway, so I see you were trying to protect your mortgage. Basically what this policy will do is help pay off your mortgage when you pass away. We've got plans that will split the plan covering half the balance or full coverage to make it more affordable. We've got mortgage payment protection, etc. So let me ask you, okay, remember, this is transition to pain. So now I'm in pain. Let me ask you, when you fill this out, take me back to when you fill this out. You were were you here on the kitchen table when you filled it out? Oh, okay. And so what was on your mind, Anne-Marie, when you filled this out? Was it you, Anne-Marie, or was it Timothy? Oh, you, Anne-Marie, all right. Tell me what was on your mind. Why did you fill this out? Blah, blah, blah. Wow. So tell me, what does that mean? What does it mean that you don't want to lose the house? Blah, blah, blah. You can have family that can help you, can't you? I'm sure they'll help you make the mortgage payment. No? You're going to have to move out of here? No? Oh, wow. Okay. Are you going to have to sell your furniture? Oh man, are you going to have to move in with your mom and dad? Oh geez, you're going to have to take your kids out of private school and they got to go to public school? Oh no. Joe, Timothy, how do you like Anne-Marie to go through that if you don't take care of this tonight? Yeah, that would suck, wouldn't it? Yeah, terrible. Oh man. Well, that's why I'm here. I'm going to show you a way out. So let me tell you what's going to happen next. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you some options. You're going to pick an option that meets your needs and budget. Then we're going to send it in to the insurance company to see if we can get you qualified. So there's nothing to think about it tonight. You can't think about it tonight. Oh man, I'm terrible at this. Tonight's not think about it tonight because the insurance company has to think about you. So all we're going to do is see if you qualify, and then once they make a decision and they approve you, we're going to come back. They're going to deliver the policy to you. I'm going to come back, open it up with you. Then we're going to look at and see if it's got everything you need. At that point, we can increase the benefits, decrease the benefits, whatever the case may be. At least we know that you're qualified for it, and that's really the purpose of sitting down. So tonight's not a think about it night. Tonight, sound good to you? Great. Sounds good. Awesome. All right. Then let me find out about your health, and let's figure out what we're going to do for you. Find out their health, find out what we're going to do for them, come up with a quoting option. I'm not sure what to do. I better call Alex. Let me call my chief underwriter, make sure we're on the right track. Hello, Alex. I got this lovely couple here, Joe and Mary. They're blah, blah, blah age, and they're whatever, and they're looking for this, and what can we do for them? And then I'll tell you my brilliant logic of why we should cover them with that product. And then you say, okay, perfect, I will do that. Boom. You put out 3 options, Joe and Mary, which options will best meet your needs and budget, at which time you're filling out the application. They pick one, boom, you write it up, everything's good. Now we go to the post-sale process. So Joe and Mary, billions of dollars have not been paid out by insurance companies. Do you want to know why that is? Because the insurance companies don't know that the person died. So in order to avert that, our company requires me to get 20 names from you of people that would tell us about your death so that we can get your claims processed, get 20 names. Okay, let's take a selfie, click. All right, let's text it out to these people. I'll do a group text. Give me your phone, boom, boom, boom. hey, this is my friend Alex. He's going to call you about a program, one of my programs, and I appreciate if you take his call. Boom, text it out, done. All right, here's a prescription discount card. You know anyone that needs prescriptions? We've got a way that you can sponsor 4 other people to get prescription discount. By the way, what are you doing with your safe money? Have you had any 401ks from previous company? We got this green sheet process where we can help you with our expert back in the home office, Chris Norris, that could advise you maybe on something that you could do better with your money. Boom. Final question. Joe and Mary, do you feel good about taking care of your family day for $129 a month? How's that sound? Is that something you can afford to do 6 months from now, 6 years from now, 10 years, 20, 30 years from now? Do you feel comfortable making that payment? Okay, great. Boom. The other parts of the post-sale process. By the way, do you know anyone, we need some help around here to help families like you. Do you know anyone right now needing to make some extra money? About $500 a week if you just sit down with a few families. Is there anyone that comes to mind? Again, I'm in touch with my manager for an interview. Nice to meet you. Thanks for that bag of tomatoes. Thanks for the hug. I will be in touch with you. Oh, by the way, I forgot this part. Let me show you my policy. You want to see what your policy looks like? Let me show you mine, and I'll show you what yours is going to look like. So this is my policy, and I'm going to thumb through it. Forgot that part. Sorry. How long did that take? That's the speed through. Now, I'm going to slow down. That cut and print. You sound like you have been in the industry, Myra. Look, that is it. Okay, now, of course, it's not that fast. Oh, you do? Well, they used to call me talent. Where's the talent? Wake the talent up. Get them off eating that muffin. Yes, I know. All right, man. That's it. All the stuff in between is the bon rapport and asking questions, right? But the skeleton of a sale is just that. Now, notice that each of the slides kind of fit in to each of these boxes, right? And so when you kind of like, boom operator, boom operator, boom operator. Okay, you got a client through here and it's a done deal. Every person you sit down with, what varies is the conversation. What varies is the bond of rapport with each individual person. But you take everyone through the same process, it's done. Does that make sense? Gosh, am I really 45 minutes in? I can't believe I'm 45 minutes in. All right. I want this to be so doable for you. And that's why we have it in a simple flip chart. Alex, can I put that on my tablet or laptop and just do a PowerPoint? I don't care. What I care about is results. If you could get the same results as someone using the little tent thing, the little tent folder, then by all means do it. Like, I don't care how you do it. What I care about is you get the results. But I know that when you take them through this process, you're going to get the proper result. And this makes it easier because you know what? This does not require an adapter. This does not require a battery. This does not require plugging it in. And since half of your policies, you're going to write our whole life policies, most of those seniors can't read the font size on a little tiny tablet. Have you seen the font size? Now I'm become more sensitive to it now that I'm an old guy, right? But this is big font. This is big font. By the way, do not read this, paraphrase it, get through it quick. They might read it. They might want to read it. Everyone's different, okay? So, you got to accommodate the people. Yet, as you flip through a person, you're going to run into the engineer type says, oh, hold on. Let me finish that slide. It's like, oh my gosh. Don't read it. Just paraphrase it. Talk conversationally with them, but you want to put this here, okay? Never put the ATM in front of you, okay? Because it's you, barrier, them. You're watching TV together. You're like, okay, so I haven't even talked about the dynamics. Yes, I am going to go through the detail of that, detail of asking for referrals. I promised you that. I am going to go into detail, so this will be an hour and a half. Okay. You sit, so if you're a guy, whether you're left-handed or right-handed, whatever you prefer, but you, the guy, needs to put the husband next to you and then put the wife next to him. If you're a woman, you put the woman next to you and the guy next to her. Does that make sense? Don't like have this thing, like if you're a woman, don't have this thing with the husband and then the wife over there, right? Just weird, okay? If you're if you're a guy, put the husband close to you and then the wife over here. Then you always want to give both people equal eye contact. Do not favor, like I'll give you a clue, man. The women are the ones that make the decisions in general. So if you're going to be looking at anybody as far as engaging, it's the woman. Do not slight the woman by putting all your emphasis on the guy, all right? You're going to blow it. The women are the ones that cut the men off if they don't like you. So you got to be like you're introduced to your wife's mother, okay? And I've always was good at that, meeting the wife's mother, man. I would charm my girlfriend's mothers, man. They'd be all over me because I knew where the power thing is in the couple anyway. So you're together, you're watching TV together, basically. You're not putting this in front of you, all right? Man, there's so many finer details, but I'm not going to get to that. Industry, this is the truth. This is the truth. All right. Well, I'm going to go into it. So let's go into the detail now. This is detail. We're going in detail mode, gang. So when you go up into the house, what I like to do is I like to knock on the door loudly, and I step back from the door because I don't want to be like up in their grill in the door, like, let me in, let me in. You know, I am like, I step back and I'm kind of laid back. I might even be on the, you know, it's like, hey, you know, how you doing, Joe? Now what I do is I wipe my feet on the mat. Okay, why do I do that? To show them I respect their house. I go up in their house, I wipe my feet on the mat, and then I take my shoes off, all right? And if they say, well, you don't have to do that, Alex. Oh, well, you know what? I just feel uncomfortable if I don't. So now make sure you don't have smelly feet. You think I'm joking? Like, you know, if you do, always have like that foot spray stuff. Like, you know, seriously. Yeah, take off your shoes, especially if you're like going into an Islamic house and you see all their slippers and all their shoes out in the porch. Get a clue. Take your shoes off right away. All right, you got to respect their culture and respect them. And they notice stuff like that. They notice stuff like that. You got to just, because you'll blow it in the first 30 seconds they meet you, man. You'll totally blow it if you don't do these fine details that make all the difference in the world. They'll like you better, I promise. I'll give you all my charming tricks. I'm going to give it all to you. I'm going to give it all up. If they have pets, oh, now, okay, I love pets, but I'm all over the pets, man. Like if they got dogs, I'm like petting the dog. I'm down on the floor with them. I'm petting the dog and I'm getting them all fired up and stuff. Why? Because they love their pets. And if you show that you love their pets, they love you because you love their pets. Does that make sense? Now, I naturally love animals, and I happen to be very blessed because animals love me. I always get this when I walk in the house, like, I don't care. They'll say this all the time. It's like, our dog never goes up to strange people, but he really likes you. And it's like, yeah, I'm just lucky. Seriously, that happens to me. I get that all the time. Pets love me, so I use that to my advantage. Like if they got a pet, man, it's a done deal. It's like nearly 100% close because I'm, you know, hanging out with their pet. And I never let them show that the pet bothers me. Okay, now what I will ask them is if they're kind of one of those pets that want to hump your leg and they're like all over you, I'll say, hey, you know, just to make this quick, is there any way that we can you know, you can put Fido here, you know, somewhere where, you know, he's not disturbing us. So I will take control, but I will love on the pet. So they know that I love pets. That is like my one big secret for any of y'all. But Alex, I don't like dogs or cats. Get over it, man. You're trying to serve a family. So just get over it. And so if they say, why don't you go sit here on the couch with us? It's like, you know what? I got some stuff to set up. I got a lot of stuff set up. Why don't we, and I will walk right to the kitchen table. Like, why don't we come over here on the dining room table, the kitchen table? I'll walk there. I'm not going to just let them. I take control, gang. I take control. Like if the TV's on, I'll say, you know what? I am so into TV. And if I start getting distracted, I'm going to be wanting to watch it. And now I'm going to be here 3 hours. You know, so is it okay if we just shut that off temporarily? It's only going to take a few minutes. And then I can be totally focused on what we're doing. I tell you what, and they'll do it. Because I say it in such a kind way. And they're already treating me like a guest. I get into a mode of asking and they comply. It's a technique. Ask and they comply, because I'm going to be asking them a lot of stuff. I want them to get used to complying. And so when I sit down at the kitchen table, I'll say, oh man, I had a tough day. Is there any way I can get a glass of water, please? Oh, sure. Would you mind bottled water? Whatever you have, I'd love it. Man, I go into guest mode. I ask for stuff because I want them to comply. I want them compliant. And by asking for stuff and getting them to comply, I get them to comply when I'm writing the application on them. I get them to answer my questions when I'm asking questions. It is a subtle but effective psychological NLP thing that I'm doing to get them to put me in a guest mode. I'm their guest. I'm actually their doctor. I'm their doctor. I'm going to apply a fix to their problem. Does that make sense? So always ask for something. Here's the other thing. The corollary to that is if they offer you anything, like, hey, Alex, do you like kimchi? Oh, I love kimchi. Blech. I will never refuse anything that's offered. Okay, unless it's like marijuana or alcohol. Like the marijuana, I've never been offered marijuana, but alcohol. Hey man, you want a beer? It's like, oh man, I love a beer, but I don't drink while I'm working, man. Sorry. Maybe some other time I'll come by, we'll just hang out. See, like I didn't refuse. I refused, but I didn't refuse. Like I'll accept it when I'll just come by, we'll hang out, man. We'll watch the game. You know, I mean, I will like invite myself over. Do you see how I subtly turned them down, but I didn't turn them down? You cannot turn down anything, because if you get into the mode where they offer you and you turn it down, it can be subconsciously an affront to them. It's subconscious though. You turn them down. So it makes them turning you down easier. Does that make sense? I always accept everything. I may not eat it, except if it's apple pie or pizza. Then I'll be chowing down, man. Like my first appointment, gang. Oh my gosh, my first appointment. I don't got time to. I'll tell that story sometime. But man, I had Southern fried chicken with pecan pie. This is my first life insurance appointment, and man, I forgot why I was there. They had to bring up about the insurance, and I thought, oh man, that's why, you know, when I got started in the business, I was 128 pounds. So I've been selling insurance, man. Anyway, so all this bond rapport stuff is huge. It's very important from when you walk in the door, you know, to when you walk out the door. Bond and rapport. You need to create trust. So let's get into that detail. Hope I gave you enough detail there. Oh, here's another one. Yeah, my wallet got fat too. Okay, now these glasses aren't that radical. All right. I've got some more radical glasses than these, but I won't go there. I'll put these on. These are my like Harry Potter glasses, I guess. I put on my nerd glasses because I want to create rapport with them. Wow, man, everything's like bright now. Man, and all you white people look really white out there. That's why I have the amber glasses, because all you white people look more tan. And my wife definitely appreciates that. But I'll put these on because I want to relate to them. I don't want to do anything that causes me not to relate to the people, because people like people that are like them. Now, it doesn't mean you have to have the same skin color. You don't have to, but you can put on an aura about yourself that makes it like them. They'll believe that you're like them. There's an NLP way to do it, okay? So I put on my glasses. Here's the other thing I do, is I've got my license on a lanyard. I love this. So I'll have this on when I walk in the house. They see my license, and I have it on both sides because I hate when I hate having to like flip it to the right side. So I don't have to worry about where it is, because I know the front side's always the front side. You see? And it makes me feel official that I got my license on here and that I'm here to do some work. I'm here to transact business. I'm here to protect them. I'm the professional. It's like when you go in your doctor's office, you will find his certificates of getting his MD all over the place. It's prominent. So you know that he's a bona fide doctor to treat you. You are the bona fide doctor when you got your life insurance license. And it helps me get into the mode of serving. When I put this on, it's putting on my uniform, man. All right? Putting on my glasses, putting on my lanyard. I'm ready to go into battle and protect that family, right? And let's talk about dress. Man, jeans and a polo shirt, nice jeans, not torn up jeans, or a khakis and a polo shirt, golf shirt, whatever. If you're in the wintertime in Ohio, it's like jeans and a flannel shirt. You are dressed down, you're not dressed up. You're sharp though. You're not looking raggedy, right? You're sharp looking. You're not wearing a suit. Man, please God, don't wear a suit, because they're not going to trust you. You want to kind of be like them, but just a little bit, maybe a little bit higher than that, right? Women, dress conservatively. Don't look like the wife's got to protect her husband from your womanly airs. Like, I'm not kidding, man. Like, pull your hair in a ponytail, put your glasses on if you wear glasses, look real official, you know, so the wife doesn't think you're coming in to steal her man because you got that perfume on. Like, seriously. By the way, women, you have an advantage over guys, serious advantage over men, serious, because you can relate with the woman. And then if you're nice to the guy, you know, guys are like puppy dogs. You guys know, you women know that. You can get a guy wrapped around your finger. That's why women in this business who understand their power kill it over men all the time. They kill it over men. You know, it's not because they're a girly girl, but it's because they're professional, right? And they give off this air of being trustworthy with the wife. They're always able to build rapport with the wife like they're girlfriends. And then the guy comes along, you smile at the guy and you got him. You know that, women. You guys smile at the guy, you got him. So you don't have to work hard. We have to work way harder than you, all right? I mean, seriously. I know, man, there's that male victim mentality. You can call it uterus envy. But I tell you what, women, y'all blow us away if you use the gifts God gave you, man. So anyway, so this is my, like, I can't stand this bright light. So I'm taking this off. Oh, man, so now y'all look like you got tans. I'm digging that. Okay, I think I'm done with all this. All these finer points will help you, I promise you. Anything you can do to stack the deck in your favor. And this is all bon rapport, man. Yeah, motherly instincts. Amen to that. Okay, bon rapport. People like people that are like them, all right? And so how can you be like them? How can you be like them? How you can be like them is through mirror and matching. I talked about this last night. You do it especially. I've got detailed, okay, by the way, I'm going to leave you with resources, but I got very detailed videos. I go an hour on bon rapport alone. I go an hour on pain. I got several videos on upfront contract. Okay, so I'm just giving you basics so that you can go in this weekend and just do some basic stuff. You're not going to be an expert, but if you do some of the basic stuff, I promise you, like some of the stuff I just talked about, bond rapport, mirror matching is everything. You mirror match how they talk, their rate of speech. Like if they talk fast, you talk fast. They talk slow, you talk slow. The other thing is body, mirror matching their body language. And it's a really cool thing how where you, if they're like crossing their legs, right, you cross your legs, you know, and if the husband is sitting with his hands on the table like this, you know, you're talking to the wife, she's crossing her legs and she's kind of laid back. I cross my legs and I'm laid back. Then when I talk to the husband, I'll do this because that's what he's doing. And I promise you, you do it subtly, they will have no idea what you're doing. Now, there's an NLP reason to do this, and I'm not going to go into the psychology of it, but it's a powerful thing creating rapport that is unconscious rapport. And it's really cool because once you got them, you're mirroring and matching them, you got this rapport going on in a body language way, you can actually pace them by when you change positions, they change positions. It is so awesome. You've got them on the hook at that point. Like if you cross your legs, the wife will cross her legs. You know, you sit back from this position, the husband does it, it rocks. And that's when you know you got, you know, but you can just start it now. And what happens when you match their body language is you start feeling what they're feeling. You'll start feeling what they're feeling. And that's ultimate in influence. Then you can totally influence them anywhere you want them to go, if that's where they want to go too. So mirror matching is a very important thing. Eye contact, I talked about eye contact. Okay, firm handshake, right? The other part of bond rapport is being good at asking questions. Question asking all the way through the thing is the foundational principle of the ATM. What? You check up people on Facebook first to see what they like to wear. Nah, you don't got to go to that extent. Although, yeah, you don't have to go to that extent. I never, you know, nobody does that in the Alliance as far as that's concerned. Yeah, that is true. Oh, wow, that's another person that, okay, I always teach that book. That's one of my books that I recommend. I just recommended it last week, How to Make People Like You in 90 Seconds or Less by Richard Boothman. That book rocks. That is an NLP book purely on sales, bond and rapport. You've got to get that book. That book, I know some of y'all have it that were on my conference call like last week or the week before. I teach out of that book. That book rocks. So that will help you with the bond and rapport. But you got to be able to ask questions. One of the most important bond and rapport questions is, how did you two meet? So, you know, let's go to kind of the quick and dirty. How long have you lived here? How did you two meet? Tell me about when he proposed to you, Mary. Okay, that's with a couple, obviously. If you don't have a couple there, and I don't care if they're a heterosexual couple or I don't care whatever, man. It doesn't matter. They've all fell in love with each other, and I want to know how they did it. Then I could maybe share my story about me and my wife. But when you can get those 3 types of questions in there, man, you will like, I don't care if they were fighting before you came. I don't care if they were fighting. They start softening up because they remember why they loved each other. They remember why they fell in love. They forget why they were mad, and they remember why they fell in love. Does that make sense? I mean, if you're ever mad at your spouse for any reason, I immediately think about why I married her. And every time I think about why I married her, the reason I was mad at her goes away. Like, I'm serious. I've already conditioned myself, honestly, to do that, you know. So it's a great exercise, man, a great exercise of gratefulness. But those 3 questions, if you can do that and get the bond rapport going, man, it is rocking. And you can't get out of bond rapport if you haven't created it well enough. Here's another thing is know the names of their children. So do you have children? Oh yeah, I see you have children. Like you can look at the pictures and, oh yeah, we've got 3 kids. Oh really? Like what are their names? His name's Steve. I got a daughter named Mary and another daughter named Joan. Oh really? How old are they? You know, Steve's 18, Mary is 16, and Joan is 7 years old. Oh wow, 7. Man, she is the baby of the family, isn't she? I write it down. I try to memorize it. So when I mention their children's name, so tell me, Steve, what college is Steve looking at? Is he looking at going to college, or what's he looking to do? So when you mention their names, it's like mentioning the names of their pets too. You know, it just means it shows them that you care enough to learn their name, right? There's something powerful about caring enough to learn someone's name. And then when the kids come in, oh, so this must be Steve. And let me guess, you're Mary and you're Joan. How you guys doing? When you're acknowledging their children, you are getting so tight with that family because you're not there to just sell them life insurance. You're going in there to protect them. You want to get to know the people that you're protecting. And you want to make a sincere effort to be part of their family. I've always been interested in that and caring about people. So anyway, this is so important. I can't emphasize, guys like Brant Swindell, top producers in the country, are so good at this. Now, Alex, you're spending a lot of time bond rapport. Absolutely, because the reason why you don't close, there are 2 reasons why you don't close an appointment. It's these 2 right here, like 95% of the time. The other 5% are some crazy stuff. It's because of these 2 areas right here. You didn't do these 2 well enough. Now, sometimes a client won't let you. A client's going to be closed off. They're just really holding on close to that vulnerability. And I'll tell you what, I'll work hard. I'll try to get them to laugh. I'll do everything I can to create some kind of acknowledgement that I want to be their friend. Now, there's a point some people won't let you there. It's like, okay, whatever. At least I tried. But at that point, it's like your chances of closing the sale kind of diminish, right? Because the pain finding questions are just academic pain. They don't get into emotional pain, right? But bond rapport, by the way, you're doing it all through here, but these are mega tips on how to create it. Knowing their names of kids, playing with their pets. Bond rapport is not doing, oh, that's a lovely picture of Dale Earnhardt on that black velvet. Where did you pick that up? Tijuana? You must be a NASCAR fan. Oh my gosh, dude. Wow, that is a lovely yard you have out there. That is the fake salesman stuff, gang. Don't be a fake salesman, because then they're gonna treat you like a fake salesman person. Because the window replacement guy last week did all that crazy salesman type stuff. I just want to get real with them, man. I want to just dig in to their family and understand them. And I want to let them know about me and my family. You know, I'm just, it's kind of like, remember when you dated your spouse, your significant other? You were trying to find ways to be together. Like the whole mirror matching thing. If you go into a restaurant, think about this. Tell me which couples are having a great date and which couples are not. Just purely by body language. Think in your mind what that looks like. All right? What does that look like? Chances are, if they're into each other, they are into each other. They're both probably leaning towards each other. They kind of got their hands like almost touching. They're just into it. They're mirroring each other's body language. It is really crazy how now the people that are not having a good date, the guy's like got his legs crossed, he's looking over here, the girl's kind of looking over this way. It's called, they break rapport is what happens. They break rapport, okay? It's kind of like when I'm trying to get away from someone, like when I go to a function, I get all these people swarming me saying, "Oh, I love your videos and your video helped me out." And it's like, man, I gotta go. And I'm like saying, "Oh man, I appreciate it. Thank you so much." And I'm sincere when I say that. I really do appreciate it. But now, I go into my getaway turn. Like I'm shaking hands, but I turn my foot out and I'm like ready to get away. That's called breaking rapport. Like I'm into them. Like that's one thing that I always try to do is I try to make that person feel like they're the only person that exists in the world, because they are. When I care about somebody, I want them to feel that. So I'm like into them. But if I got to run, I break rapport and I'm like, hey, do you see how that works? It works the same way as creating rapport. Does that make sense? All right. So that's bonding rapport. You got to be good at it. This is the first and foremost skill so that you can be great at taking care of families. The best sales people, the most successful, are the ones that can relate to anyone. See, because when you sit down with somebody, chances are you're going to close maybe 20% because 25%, because you're going to be like about 25% of the people out there, right? There's actually statistics on the kind of person you are. It's an NLP thing too. But you're going to nationally maybe close 20% of the people you sit down with, and it's purely by random. You know, like have you ever been to a party, you didn't know anyone, and then you start having conversation with someone, and all of a sudden like 2 hours go by because you're like totally into each other, like, you know, meaning that you've got a lot in common, right? It could be another guy if you're a guy, or another woman, it doesn't matter. But you're like, wow, it's like I feel like I've known this person all my life. Have you ever had that situation where you met someone brand new at church and all of a sudden you're like talking the night away because you got so much in common? Well, you do because you do. You have so much in common. That's why you like them so much, right? Well, when you sit down, you're going to close maybe 20%. See, the power of bond and rapport and books like that book, How to Make People Like You in 90 Seconds or Less, is it teaches you how to create rapport with people that are so unlike you. When you can create rapport with people that are so unlike you, then your closing rates go up to maximum. And for you recruiters and builders out there wanting to build a business, this is how you build a large business, is when you can relate to people that are totally dissimilar from you, right? Well, regardless of religion, regardless of race, regardless of political persuasion, that stuff won't matter if you're good at doing this properly. And this is the key to everything, because everything, this compartment is the basis on everything. If you don't close this, man, the water's going to run through the whole submarine and you're sunk. That's why I spend a lot of time on bond and rapport. And I have some awesome videos on this, on bond and rapport. So let's go to the pain process. So pain. The pain process is a series of questions to take a client from the logical reason why you're there all the way down to the specific emotional reason. And so the rule of thumb is if you can ask 10 pain questions, if you can ask 10 pain questions, then you're going to get to the emotional reason. And it is all about asking questions. You never tell anyone anything. This business is not about telling someone what they ought to do. It's asking questions to guide them to what they're going to do, what they want to do. It's kind of like a psychologist. In fact, that's what Sandler says. He goes, you know, you're on a stage playing the role of a psychiatrist. That's all you're doing is asking questions like a psychiatrist would, or a psychologist, or a therapist. Because they want you to self-discover the issues that you're having in your life. They're not telling you that you have a mama issue or you have abandonment issues. Oh, clearly you have abandonment issues. This is how we need to fix that. No, because you're not convinced because you didn't come to that conclusion. But what they do is they talk about, so tell me about your relationship with your parents. Tell me about your mother. Tell me about your father. Tell me about stuff you used to do in the past. Tell me about one thing that they did that, I don't know, made you kind of question whether or not they really loved you. Is there any situation that, I mean, I'm not a therapist or psychologist. I have no idea if that's what they do. Okay. But what my point is, I'm asking more questions to drill down, and I'm asking, they're answering. So ultimately, I am in control because I'm asking the questions, right? And when they are answering, here's the beautiful thing about asking questions, that when they answer the question, they don't have any objections to that's coming out of their mouth, all right? When it's coming out of their mouth, they have no objections, as opposed to you telling them, well, in my professional opinion, I think you should get the CFG term, the term program with the 50% return of premium rider, because it's a forced savings program, and wouldn't you like to just pay half premium and get your money back? Everything you just said is can be a bone of contention with them. They have to decide whether or not to believe you. But when you ask them questions, well, let me ask you this, Joe. If you paid 30 years into this policy and they gave you back half your money, would that be kind of a cool thing, or would that not be of any concern of yours? Oh man, that would be awesome. See, they don't question that would be awesome because they're saying it. Everything that's coming out of their mouth, there are no objections to. That's why you've got to be in control to ask the questions. And I've got some great videos on question asking, but the pain process is drilling from general to specific. And so the pain works like this. So Joe and Mary, tell me, who filled this out, by the way? Was it you, Mary, or was it you, Joe? Mary, oh, okay, Mary. So where were you? Were you here in the kitchen? Why do I ask that? Because I'm taking them back. It's an NLP technique to take them back to the situation when they were filling it out. I'm getting them to go back in time to get the feelings back. It's almost like, what is your favorite song with your first high school girlfriend or boyfriend? Like mine, if I tell you, if someone says Reasons by Earth, Wind & Fire, the live version of Reasons with the sweet sax, it takes me back to slow dancing with my, really tight with her, man, my girlfriend Stephanie, in the back of her house during her graduation party. Oh, man. And I go back there and I remember what it's like slow dancing with her. And it was just like I was there, right? It brings up NLP, neuro-linguistic programming. Neuro-linguistic programming. It's a rockin' technique where you can manipulate people in a positive way if you've totally mastered it. It's a technique. Anyway, I'm not going to go into that. I'm going to be here all night. I don't want to be here all night. But the bottom line is, that's why I ask them, tell me, where you were when you filled this out. So what were you thinking when you filled this out? When you filled this lead out, tell me about what was on your mind. Well, Alex, I was just wondering how much this cost to get this coverage. Okay, now notice how she answered it. It was a logical question. She gave you a logical answer. Okay, it was a general question, but she gave you a logical answer. Well, we were just looking at, okay, well, you know what? We're going to get there. But what does that mean to protect your home? Tell me about what that means to you. Well, Timothy makes, majority of the money in the household. And, if something happened to Timothy, then we'd be, we'd be hurting. Okay, hurting. What does hurting mean? See, I want to get very specific because hurting's kind of wishy-washy. I want to get more specific. So tell me, what does hurting mean? What do you mean by that? Do you see how I'm starting to drill down? What do you mean by hurting? Well, I don't know how we'd make, the next mortgage payment. Oh, what is your mortgage payment? It's $1,700. Oh, wow. And like, what percentage of the income do you bring into the home? And I just volunteer part-time and I do a little part-time thing for some friends. I'll probably bring in maybe 20% of the income. Oh, wow. So Anne Marie, you're going to lose 80% of your income when Timothy dies? Now notice I said when. Oh yeah. Wow. When is that mortgage due? Beginning of the month, end of the month? Oh, it's the beginning of the month. So like if something happened today, June 13th, and you had to come up with $1,700 by the beginning of next month, July, I'm sure you probably have some savings, right? They probably cover it for a year. Oh, well, I don't know if we have enough in savings to cover for a year, but maybe the first payment. Okay, well, so you got the first payment covered. So what happens in August? I'm sure you probably can get some money from your mom or dad to help you make that payment. It's like, oh, I don't want to have to ask them for money. Huh. Well, how long do you think it would take the bank to foreclose on your property here? I don't know. Okay, well, let's say 6 months. They take your house. Where are you going to go after they take your house? I'm sure your mom will probably be able to take you and the kids in, right? We talked about your kids, and well, I mean, they would, but I don't know. I mean, well, would you have to take your kids out of school? Do they live close by? No, they live in another state, so we'd have to move. Oh man. So would you sell your furniture? I don't know what we do. Huh. Wow. Hmm. You see what I did? I got her to, well, we're looking at how much this costs to, I don't know what we do. And then I let it ring out in this silence. I use silence as a closing technique. Silence is the best closing technique. I'll just go, oh man. And then I'll turn to Joe or Timothy. So Timothy, how's that make you feel, your wife and kids going through that? Now shut up. I'll let Timothy be the hero. Well, Alex, that's why you're here, man, because I don't want that to ever happen to them. Okay. So, because if I walked out of here without taking care of you and you die tomorrow in a head-on collision out here on I-675, that's what's going to happen to your wife, Anne Marie, and your children? Well, yeah, but I'm not going to let that happen. Okay. All right, cool. Well, that's why I'm here. You see what I did? It's through a series of questions that you can get down and drill down. And the only way they're going to be vulnerable enough to you to answer those questions, right, is if you created good enough rapport with them so they trust you with those feelings. That's why it all like mixes. Does that make sense? So you get down to the bare bones. They've told you all this because you ask questions. And you lock it down. So the transition from pain to upfront contract this is important. It's called an anchoring technique. Master Chief. It's an anchoring technique where you say, that's why I'm here. Okay, oh man, I want to teach you another really effective. I'm not going to do it because it'll take me forever. But this is a great closing technique. And I will like hit Joe on the side of the arms like, Joe, I'll touch him just lightly. Joe, that's why I'm here. I'm going to make sure that doesn't happen to your family. What you're doing is you're creating an anchor. So every time you like touch him on the arm, it's positive. It's positive. So when you want to interject positive, you just touch it, and that equals positive, and he'll feel good. It's so cool. NLP anchoring. Look it up on YouTube. It rocks. So you do that. That's why you want the husband next to you, because you're going to anchor that dude. You're going to have him twisted in pretzels if you wanted. That's what I love about NLP. That's so cool. That's why I'm here. I'm going to make sure that does not happen And you can strike the hero pose. That's why I'm here. I will not let that happen to your wife and children. Okay, man. I'm getting silly. I'm just having water, I think. That's why I'm here. I'm going to make sure that never happens. And then you go into the upfront contract. And this is like one of the easiest things you could ever do, but one of the most effective things. This is where you close the sale. This is where you get the client to commit. This is the only time you're ever telling them something, but you do it in the form of a question by telling them what's going to happen. So this is what's going to happen next. And this is that slide that says this is what's going to happen next. Okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to ask you some questions so we can figure out what you qualify for. I'm going to give you 3 different price ranges, and you're going to pick one that is going to meet your needs and budget. The one that you feel comfortable with, the one that will make sure that your wife and your children are going to be okay when you're gone. I never say if, I'm going to say when you die, when you're gone. I don't try to say pass away. Pass away is a wimpy word. When you die, like be upfront with, we're not trying to make it easy for them to hear. We're trying to make it hard on them. We're trying to get them to where they're feeling pain. Like you take them from feeling good about life to where it's excruciating if they don't take care of this. Does that make sense? So they're going to want to take care of it. And the only person that's going to take them there is you, because you got the guts to ask them the hard questions. Well, Alex, that's emotional manipulation. Call it what you want. It's getting the client taking care of his family. Because if he's not around, she's going to have to move in with her mother. And she does not want to do that. Oh, come on, man. Don't get moralistic on me. That's the wrong way to think about this. It's not moralistic. Anyway. So what we're going to do is you're going to pick the one that meets your needs and budget. And I like drawing things out because I think there's a lot of people that are visual. So we're going to fill out an electronic application. Okay, and then you're going to electronically sign it. And that's going to go to the big insurance company. And what they're going to do is they're going to think about you. So we don't even know if you're qualified yet. So there's nothing to think about here, Joe and Mary. We're not in the think about it mode. All we're doing is finding out what you can afford, and then we're going to see if the insurance company is going to approve it. So they're actually going to think about you first, and they're going to take it through the underwriting process. And if they approve you, yes, then what they're going to do is they're going to assemble the policy. They're going to send it back to you and Mary. And then I'm going to come back and I'm going to open up the policy with you and make sure it's got everything that you were looking for in it. And it's at that point where you can think about either increasing the coverage, decreasing the coverage, changing things up, adding this rider, whatever you want to do. At least we know that it's approved. So now you can make a better decision and fine tune it if you want to. Or you can just get really exactly what you want here and then see if you qualify. Either way, I'm going to be here to open up with you and make sure it's got everything you need. In the case where they say no, there's just something in your underwriting, then I'm going to come back to you and I'm going to present you some other companies, now that we know what the underwriting situation is, that will cover you. Once we know that, then I'll be able to present you some other options as well. All right. Joe and Mary, how does this sound to you? Okay, and this is with an auditory person. Joe and Mary, how does this look to you? That's a visual person. Joe and Mary, does this feel right? Do you feel good about this process? That's a kinesthetic person. I'm going into NLP mumbo jumbo, but I'm planting the seed because everything is planned. It's a perfect, beautiful system when you understand what you're doing. So Joe and Mary, how's this look to you? And I just shut up. I shut my trap. I don't say another word. I don't care if I'm staring at them for 5 minutes. And they tell me, Alex, this looks perfect. This is exactly what we want to do. Awesome. What you're looking for here, gangs, you're looking for all the objections, because the only objection that you don't know about is the one that's going to kill you. You want to surface anything that is making them hesitate. Does that make sense? So you don't want them to hesitate. You want them, or you want to know if they're going to hesitate. Yeah. So what kinds of things can they hesitate about here? Well, Alice, it looks all well and good, but we just really want to know if it's going to fit in our budget. Oh, well, that's fine. That's not a big deal. I mean, we still can go through this. In fact, we don't even know if you're approved on whether or not it fits in your budget. But let's talk about the budget thing. Let's talk about the budget thing. Now, Joe, you told me that you're the one that, or Mary said that, I'm using names, Anne Marie and Timothy, but let's just use Joe and Mary. You're the one that makes the majority of, so let's say the household income, what, 7,000 a month? Okay, and you make like what, 80% of that? And Mary's at 20%, so that's Joe, this is Mary. So you start out every 7,000 a month, and so let's just kind of put down your budget. Like, isn't a budget really a priority all the way down? And then this is like $7,000, right? Now all this stuff, the nice to have stuff, but there are like things that you want to pay off right away, right? So let's just play a game here. What are the most important things that you need to pay off every month to make sure that you got the basics in place to live? So what's the number one? They're going to say mortgage. Oh yeah, right. You want to make sure you stay in your house, right? All right. So what's the second thing? The second bill that's most important to you to make sure it's paid? Cable. Oh, I always say that. NFL football, NFL primetime, all access. Is that number two? And I'll joke with the husband. He goes, oh, no, it's not that. It's close, but it's not that. What's the next one? Well, we got car payments. So, cars take us to work. So, car payments. Oh, okay. So you have car payments, all the cars here that you have? How many cars do you have on car payments? Well, we have actually 3 car payments right now. Okay. Oh, that's cool. So what's the third thing most important? Where are utilities, utilities, gas, water, whatever. Okay. What's number 4? Well, we'd like to eat. So food, just, family. So you get, Joe, Mary, you get my drift. It's going to be food, then probably cable TV, right? Cable TV. I'm sure there's other things you like to do, maybe eating out, movies. And you're going to get to where, boom. And then all these are just, if you have the extra money, it'd be nice to have, right? So you're talking about deciding whether or not this decision moves it up above the line versus taking something below the line. So you're wondering whether or not insuring and taking care of your family should go up here versus, and then what's going to go down here, isn't it? Because that's all what we're talking about. Does it fit in the budget? Does it fit into the, okay, so let me ask you this question. Like if your house burned down, if it was in a flood, if your house, like, what would, take care of your house if there was a house fire? Oh, well, we got home insurance. Okay. Now, what if you got a collision with your car and, oh, so you have insurance with that too? Oh, yeah, we do. We have insurance for that too. Huh. Now, let me ask you a question. What makes this budget possible? Like, who makes this $7,000 a month, majority of it, possible? Joe? Huh, interesting. The first 2 important things, you have insurance on that, but this is you. You make the budget possible, don't you? And then I smile. I smile because they realize that it's not a decision of whether it's in the budget because it's supposed to be. All they're figuring out, so Joe, really what you're trying to figure out is what down here needs to go down here, right? Like maybe you're not eating out as much, maybe you're going to the theater as much. Really, that's all you're thinking about, right? It's not really whether this taking care of your family, Joe, is down here. It's really figuring out which down here goes down here. Is that right? Bam! Bam! You nailed them between the eyes, and it's done by asking questions. It's not telling them. It's by they discover, they start smiling themselves because they know what you just told them is true. The power of asking questions. So that's how I handle the budget excuse. But all the excuses are going to come out of the upfront contract, right? Now, once the upfront contract's done, they agree to it, then everything's just easy peasy lemon squeezy from here, because then you go to the fulfillment, the prices, right? And so we have that sheet that you're going to print out, that you're going to write down option 1, 2, and 3. And so just general proposal preparation techniques. Like if you're doing mortgage payment protection, let's say their mortgage is $175,000. You know, what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to do like $175,000. Okay, and then I'm going to go mortgage, you know, their percentage income in the home. So if Joe makes 80% of the income, Mary makes 20%, or vice versa, it could be Mary. I've had it the opposite way too. 80%, 20%, then maybe what I'll do is I'll show Joe at 80% of the mortgage, right? And I'll show Mary at 20% of the mortgage. Now, like, follow me here. This is what I call the income ratio. Income. Let's just use 100,000 just to make the numbers easier. If you cover Joe for 80% of the mortgage, which is 80,000, and you cover Mary for 20% of the mortgage, right, which is 20,000, and the mortgage payment, again, for the sake of ease, is $1,000 a month. If Joe dies, when Joe dies, Mary's going to get $80,000 to refinance the house. She puts $80,000 down, so she finances $20,000. Now the mortgage payment goes from $100 to $200 a month. Mary, do you think you can make the mortgage payment on $200 a month instead of $1,000 on $20,000 a year? She's going to say yes. So those are kind of the basics of refinancing. You just kind of go with the income ratio. And I've closed a bunch of stuff at this middle road here, and then I'll put Joe at 20%. He gets 20%, refinances the house. Now the mortgage is $800, which is more than affordable on his $80,000 a year income. Okay, so I call this the income ratio. So, you know, let's say it's $80,000 for him, $20,000 for her. Then I do mortgage payment protection. I'll do like $25,000, the bare minimum, and that'll keep the mortgage payment going for like 2 years. And the difference in pricing is huge. Let's say this one is $125 a month. This is $75 a month, and this is like $35 a month. Okay, we're talking huge differences. And what you're going to find is they're going to either pick this one or this one. A lot of times it's the middle one they're going to pick. Okay, so I'll do the full amount, the income ratio, and the minimum on a mortgage protection term policy is $25,000, just to show them, you know, mortgage payment protection, right? So that's kind of in general. Now I am going to prepare you. So, like, you know, do not let your heart be troubled, because I will prepare you for all of this. I'm just telling you, kind of planting the seed. You don't have to come up with this yourself, or you call me from the home and tell me what the situation is, and I'll give you all these proposals. Like, I will tell you exactly what's up. For final expense, that's way easier, because all they, you know, so you can have the deluxe funeral, $15,000, the semi funeral, or the pine box for $5,000. Right, that's kind of what you're doing. And then the more houses you go into, the more you're going to kind of gauge the affordability. So maybe in this house, this is maybe $25,000, $15,000, and $10,000. Then you go to another home, and maybe it's $7,500, $5,000, and $2,500 for a cremation. Okay, you're going to start to get a sense for affordability the more houses you go in. But final expense is super easy. You know, where you get into a little more complexity is the mortgage protection. And then finally, for the older client, let's say you have a client, $175,000 mortgage, you're an older client, and let's say she's 67 and he's 74. man, if you run a term quote on 175,000, you know, this might be $700 a month, and Joe here is going to have a heart attack and die right in front of you. You do not want to have him die in front of you without covering him first, okay? So you're going to have to go mortgage payment protection. I've got some great videos on mortgage payment protection where you show them a much more viable solution, which could be like, and this is where you take a whole life product, because you don't want to get them into a 10-year term and then at 84 it stops and he's still alive. And they put in like, you know, $50,000 in it and they got nothing for it. Whereas whole life is more expensive per thousand, but I'd rather put their money into something lower amount, but something that'll be there for their entire life, because I think it's more value to them, right? And so I might do, you know, 24 months of mortgage payments, 12 months and 6 months. Again, gauging on affordability, using a whole life product like Plan Right for Strong Foundation or CFG Dignified Choice. And I'm looking at mortgage payment protection because they're going to have to come up with some serious solutions. But you buy the wife time, Joe and Mary. If we gave Mary 24 months to fix the house up, get it good and ready to sell, and she gets the max equity out of the house, do you think that would help her? It's a question, but it's a question where, what's he going to say? No, that's not going to help her. It's a question. And he says, yeah, that'll help. See? And I don't emphasize how much, like this could be, you know, 24,000, this is 12,000, this is 6,000. It's not important what the amount is. What's important is the solution of protecting their mortgage. So I always phrase it as, this will help Mary pay the mortgage for 2 years. This will help Mary make the mortgage for 12 months, and this one for 6 months. I don't say this is $12,000, $24,000 of life insurance, because it's not important the face value. What's important is what that face value is going to do for them, right? And then you lay out the prices, they pick one, boom, you're off to the races. All right, so that is just the quick and dirty, and I've got some really good stuff on proposal preparation videos. Once you get that done, then you do the ERS program, and you tell them, Joe and Mary, the next thing we have to do, so the transition from here to the post sale is the next thing we have to do. Gosh, I'm sorry. Oh, wow. Hold on. I thought I had it. I do. Here it is. Okay. Oh. Here it is. Okay, so I pull out my little sales aid, the ERS package that I asked you to download. And this is in that package. You can laminate this. Actually, it's cool if you laminate it. And I'll say, hey, Joe and Mary, there is over $7 billion of unpaid life insurance, because there is. Okay, the next thing we need to do is to fill out your ERS, the Emergency Response System. Okay, all that is a fancy way to put together an emergency contact list. Like, you know, when you put your kids in school, they had to come up with an emergency contact. Okay, that's what we're doing here, is putting together your emergency contact list. Now, what that emergency contact list is, actually, okay, so let me guide you into this. So I'll say the next thing we have to do is we got to put together your emergency response list, okay? It's emergency contact list. And here's why. There are unclaimed billions of dollars out there in the life insurance industry that should go to the beneficiary of the people that died. But why do you think there is? Why do you think there is an unclaimed unclaimed billions of dollars. And you ask them why. It's like, well, I don't know. I mean, why would they hold on to that death benefit? Exactly. Here's why. Because these people, the insurance companies don't know that the person died. All they know is they stopped making their premium payments. But because a life insurance policy is a piece of paper that can get lost, or a group of papers can get lost. Have you lost anything making moves before? Oh, yeah. Well, people lose their insurance policies and their loved ones don't even know they have one. And so when they die, they don't even know there's a policy to ask about. And so what the emergency contact list does, it allows us to learn about someone's death so that we can go ahead and get the death benefit processed. All right? So what it is an emergency contact list, similar to like when your child was going to school and they had to put an emergency contact together. What we're going to do is we're going to do that for you. And what it is a local list of friends and family that could give me a call or the insurance company a call should you, when you pass away, so that we can get everything going. Now, here's another reason why it's also important, because if I'm not around, if something happens to me, that they can call like the insurance company as well. And I will take care of it, but if I'm not around, it gives them an opportunity to call the company that your policy is with. Now, my company wants me to get my company needs you to get 20 names of people. Why do we use 20 names? Because over time, your policy, you're looking at a 30-year policy. Over time, over 30 years, out of 10 people, you're probably going to only have one person give me a call, statistically, okay? So that's why they need 20. So we'll at least have 2 people that will give me a call. So here's what we need to do. So let's go ahead and fill this form out. So let's just start writing names down in the relationships, and then we'll get the phone numbers later. So give me the name of your first person. Like once you get your phone and get into your contact list, and then you put your head down, and you start writing, and you don't pull your head up. You just keep writing, and you keep writing, and you keep writing relationship, and phone number. Let's just start writing names. And then, okay, let's get their phone numbers. Boom. Get 20 names. Your head does not pop up. Don't let them off the hook. Just wait there. Just stare at it and wait. They're looking and they're looking. Stare at it and wait. Don't even put your head up and look at them. Okay, you're ready to write. All right. Okay, then what you do is you take a picture of it. Click. Take a picture of their ERS list, and then you text it to them so they have a copy of it. Okay. Then what you do is you take a selfie with them. Take your phone. Oh, where did my phone go? You take the phone, you take a selfie with them, right? And then you text them the selfie. And here's what some people do, like Lee Reyes, is like, okay, so next thing we got to do is we got to text them our picture, and then I'm going to give them a call. So let me help you do that. So you take their phone, and then you type in all the numbers in a group text, and then you take the picture, and then you type in, and Lee has what you type in the text. This is when you know you have ultimate rapport. And this is what you put in the text. Hello, my life insurance agent Alex, is going to call you on my behalf. And before you ask, yes, everything is okay. He'll be calling from 937-554-2693. Please take his call. He's going to drop something off for me. He's going to drop something off for me. And then you send the group text to everybody, right? And this is how you just grease the skids for you to call these people up. Man, it's as simple as that. All right, so does that make sense? And I promise you, you will rock the house with referrals. So you do the ERS, then you talk about our RX card. Now, RX card rocks, gang. I mean, like I have gotten discounts on it. Patrick Connors with his wife, they've gotten huge discounts on prescription drugs. So you tell the client, hey, this card is a membership card. We're going to give it to you for free. You're possibly going to get some serious discounts. And you can go actually to a website and determine if you are going to be able to get a discount, or it'll tell you which pharmacy you're going to get the biggest discount on your drugs, right? So the Alliance is going to allow you to sponsor 4 other people. So you have 4 other friends that you know that use a lot of prescription medications. And then you take their names. And then what I'll do is I'll give them a call and drop their prescription card to them. Awesome. Now, another thing that we do, Joe and Mary, do you consider yourself a saver or an investor? You know, are you currently putting money away in some kind of 401k? And this is where you have the conversation about, you know, finding an annuity. I'm not going to go into detail. There's some great training on that. You know, but you look for annuity opportunities there. Final question. This is a lockdown question. Joe and Mary, do you feel good about taking care of your family today for $143 a month? Okay, and here's why I asked that, Joe and Mary, is that vacation is coming up. This is June, and you probably have vacation plans or something. You're going to spend some money, and I want to make sure that when you have those vacation bills coming in, that you're not going to look at this $143 a month and think that it's just too much that you can't do it. Is that going to be too much to do? Christmas is coming, and you decide to be very generous this year, and then they're going to draft $143 from your account in January. Are you going to call me up and tell me that you can't afford it? Is this $143 a month going to be something that you can make a commitment to protecting your family? Remember, we talked about want to take care of, you know, your wife and kids, make sure they don't have to move in with their mother. Is this something you think you can do? Oh, absolutely, Alex. Definitely we're going to do this. All right, cool. Now, by the way, would you like to see what your policy is going to look like? And they're going to say, well, yeah, that'd be cool. Well, your policy is probably going to look very similar to my policy. I'm going to show them my policy, which is with F&G Life. So let me show you what's in my policy. Oh, this is one of those, yeah. So this is, I got this back in date of issue, December 28th, 1999. I've got 150,000. I've got the waiver of premium, disability income rider. So your policy is going to look exactly like this. It's going to be a statement of benefits page. And then there's going to be where you see the pricing of it all through the next 30 years. These are the general provisions. And I'm going to go through just very briefly. I'm going to show them what it looks like. And I'm going to do this. This is what your policy is going to look like, Joe and Mary. And this is powerful because you're going to get to the kinesthetic feeler, touchy-feely people, and they'll be slobbering. Here, why don't you hold on to this? Your policy is going to look just like this. And you get them to touch it and feel it. Because everything that you've talked about thus far has been a concept. It's been a concept of protecting their family. But what you did was you closed it hard because you showed them what your policy looks like. And they get to touch and wacka it. And now it becomes a real, tangible thing that they're going to use. This is what's going to protect their family. This document, this contract, and they get to see it. And the most important thing they get to see is that you believe in what you're selling. You believe in life insurance because you got your family protected. And it doesn't got to be with the policy that they wrote, but it's at least one of our carriers that we represent, because you can't be a fake out artist and you can't have the lack of integrity taking that policy you got when that Gerber policy you got, your family got, your mother got for you when you were 5 years old, and going in with your Gerber policy. How weak ass is that? Buy a policy from the companies you represent because you believe enough about the product that you're going to take it out and show them proudly that you got a product and that you got an insurance policy. This is how you close sales, man. It rocks, let me tell you. Okay, then we go through. Now, do you know anyone that happens to need to make some extra money because we're looking for people, right? And then I tell them, by the way, here's my card. I give them my card. I tell them, over the next day or two, I want you to write down questions because I know you're going to have questions. Why don't you write down your questions so that I'm going to call you back in a couple days, and I'm going to see if you've got questions so I can answer them for you. Is that fair enough, Joe and Mary? Fair enough. All right, rock on. Hey, great to meet you guys. I respect you for loving your family the way you do, Joe. You are an awesome example of a father that loves his wife and children. And I shake his hand, shake her hand. Sometimes they'll hug you. They'll give you a bag of tomatoes out of their garden. And then what you do 2 days later is you call them up and you say, hey, Joe and Mary, this is Alex, your insurance man. You know, I was out there a few days ago. And they say, yeah, Alex, yeah. Well, I'm just calling to see if you have any questions. Do you have any questions for me? And it'll go one of two ways. Oh, no, man, we really enjoyed you coming over and can't wait to get the policy in the mail. We're excited about that. Awesome. I will come over. When the policy gets there, call me, or I'll check in to see if you got it. Then I'll come over and I'll open it up with you and, you know, we'll have some fun checking it out. And then it can go that way or go the other way, which is the way you're really looking for. What you're doing is you're trolling for buyer's remorse. All right. Let me pull the chat line up. You are totally trolling for buyer's remorse. And what you're going to get is you're going to say, huh, hey, I'm so glad Alex you called. You know, because me and Mary, we've been thinking. You know exactly what they're going to say. Well, yeah, we've been thinking. I don't know if we just like totally feel like comfortable. I just, I cut them off. And I'll say, you know what? I don't feel really comfortable either. I didn't feel comfortable when I left. I tell you what, let me come over and let's, you know, that option 3 was kind of a big option. Maybe we should like look at option 2 or 1. Let me just come over. You got time? Let me come over and let's revise the application. And you have an 80% chance of going back to revise it, okay? Because it's only 2 days. They did not solidify their decision. They did not solidify their decision, right? Because it's only 2 days. Now, 2 weeks, when you call them, hey, I see that they sent you your policy, you got it in the mail, and they say, nah, you know what, Alex, we decided not to go with you. We decided not to do it. Well, hey, I can come over. No, we decided not to do it. Time kills all deals. And if they went 2 weeks in their minds justifying why they didn't want the policy, there's nothing you can do or say to make them change their minds. But 2 days after, you have a shot to get them to change their minds, to revise it. And that's why you do it 1 to 2 days later. You give them the phone call, trolling for the buyer's remorse. And then you go over there, you switch it up, and everything's good, right? You got to do that. And then when the policy comes in, you personally deliver. Alex, it's just such a pain to just go back over there. You don't got it placed yet, gang, until you open it up with them, make sure they feel comfortable with everything in it. And if there are changes they want to make, you can implement those changes. But you got to physically get in front of them again so you can get all that good juju going. You could tap Joe on his right arm again to give him that good juju feeling, you know? That's such a cool technique. That's when you place it, and then you call them every year, see how they're doing. Annual review. I put them all on my Christmas card list, and I send them a Christmas card to my family. My clients that have been with me for 20 years they look forward to getting my Christmas cards because they see my kids growing up year after year after year. They love my family because they, you know, they just are so into it. Well, it'll cost me more money. Oh my gosh, dude, do you know, remember the part about renewals? How our renewals rock? There's some policies you'll get more in renewals than you will on the first year commission. It is worth keeping that ongoing stream of income going because you're being nice to people and you're caring for them. Does that make sense? So anyway, let me see if I can look at the chat line and see what all went down. Do you see why we couldn't do this last night? I still want Alex's insurance policy. Yep, we waited too late. Let's see. It's Transamerica for me, my kids 10 years need to get married to be a good need to get married to be a good insurance agent. Hey Mara, I could set you up, girl. Come down to our family reunion function in July. In fact, I do need to. I do. Let me see if I got. Dad died again. There. Oh man, that is a nightmare. Get my insurance policy while there. You sure can. Let me tell you, man. Let me leave you with some important. As we wind down our boot camp. Yeah, I could not have done this last night, could I have? I mean, I just could not have done this with any, with any meat. So let me leave you with this. These are some important things. Like everything I've taught you will help you, but let me give you things that will amp up what you're going to do, what you're going to do to be with us. This will be the multiplier of your results. Number one, we have 2 major conferences a year. We got National Conference in January and Family Reunion Conference in July. It's July 18th through the 21st in Burlington, North Carolina. Okay, you're going to get around thousands of agents that are killing it with us, that are all doing awesome stuff with this business. You're going to get around them. They're going to be people just like you. And it's not just rah-rah and excitement, although that's part of it. It is hardcore teaching. Of our 2 conferences, this is where we do some hardcore teaching on all the things I've taught, mindset, attitude, building, everything with all the top people, okay? You need to go. All my half-price tickets are gone, so I'm sorry, but those are sold out. You need to go to Family Reunion, July 18th through the 21st. How do you find out about where to go for it or about it? You go to AllianceFamilyReunion.com, AllianceFamilyReunion.com. The ticket's like $129, and you will make multiples of that back. Just make a commitment to come out. If you need a roommate to share, to defray the cost of rooms, we got people that, in fact, I know someone right now that needs a roommate, okay, a female, all right? Female needing another female roommate, all right? And guys, we can get you with other guys. And if you're driving in, like we can help you get into someone else's car to defray the cost of gas. We will try to find some way, somehow to make it cheap for you to come out because it will make every difference for you. And I can't tell you how it's going to make a difference for you, but I promise you it will make a difference for you. You can hear something that will rock your world, and it's only one thing someone said that will totally make you believe you can do this thing. Now, I've got a countdown clock, and there are 34 days, 33 minutes, and 22 seconds, 21, 20, 19, 18, left until Family Reunion. This is a life-changing event. This can make all the difference in the world for you. This is a decision that you will not regret. I promise you, it'll be a decision you will not regret. So Family Reunion, go to AllianceFamilyReunion.com. Man, it is worth the money. I've gone to every single conference and function that we've done, partly because I was one of the founders of the Alliance, but the other reason is because I needed to be there too. You know, the only reason I make the money I make is because the people I've hung around at functions and the things I've listened to Andy Albright teach me at conferences like this. I need it, and if I need it with the money I'm making, you know, I think you could probably use it too. Let me show you the benefits of going to conferences. I'm going to show you a practical benefit because being one of the inner circle managers, Andy Albright took extreme care of us. And he bought a premium financing policy. So this is mine. Is this mine? Yeah, this is mine. So the life insurance premium is $561,000 a year that he's putting into this over the next like 15 years. Okay, it's a premium financing. This is actually National Life Group Flex Life 2. And so the initial death benefit is $7.6 million. By the way, I paid not a dime in this. This is a benefit that Andy's given me because we're one of the agency managers. All agency managers have a policy like this. Mine, because I've got the second largest group in the alliance, mine happens to have a lot more money. But because I'm 58, it's not as much as someone who's a manager who's like 45. Okay, so he can put more money in their policy that can grow because they're younger. I'm older. But it's not bad because my tax-free income the first year is $9 million a year, beginning at age 73. Is that cool? So do you think it's worth it building this business? I think so. That's mine. Let me show you Ginny's. Yeah, spouse is covered too. So Ginny's looks like this. She's got $3 million of life insurance, $2.3 million as she starts taking out at age 68. So that's not bad either, is it? So is it worth it coming to family reunion? Yes, because you could have that happen for you if you decide to stay in this thing and build this thing and do what I've done, and you will have a retirement that will beat anything out there. This is the kind of retirement that rich people do. Rich people buy policies like this, all right? The other thing that will multiply your results is by attending every conference call, every webinar call. We do the Alliance TWC every Wednesday from 12:30 to 2. We do the Alliance product call every Thursday from 1 o'clock. These are all Eastern time, 1 to 2 o'clock. We do the Alliance activity call from 10 to 11 a.m. Eastern time. Then I do my base shop or my agency call webinar on Tuesdays from 11 to noon. And then I do my builders call for people that want to build a business from 11 to noon on Friday after the activity call from 10 to 11. This is where you will learn stuff. The one thing that you needed to hear is the conference call or webinar that you missed. I always wanted to be at everything. So going to all the stuff that we offer you will help you. Hotspot meetings. If you're in any kind of driving distance to a hotspot meeting, you need to be around the other agents doing this. There's something magic about physically being around the people that are killing it. We have the saying that either you need the hotspot or the hotspot needs you. In other words, if you're having a crappy week, you need to get to a hotspot to be encouraged that other people are having great weeks and that you can have a great week too. It'll keep you in. And then when you're having a great week, you need to go to that hotspot to share your success so other people can believe that they can do it too. We all are in this together. At the hotspot meetings, they'll have dial teams where you can listen to people dial the phone, so you can learn how to be better at booking appointments. Man, it takes a system. It takes people to help us build the business, and we all help each other out. And when you start creating relationships at a hotspot meeting, you will get those people to take you out on appointments. They'll be happy to take you out on appointments with them to show you the ropes, as long as you become part of the team. The entrance to make that happen, the entrance fee is you being part of that team, showing up every week, getting to know the people there. And I promise you, you use my name as a calling card, they're going to roll out the red carpet for you, because chances are I've probably served at that meeting, I've taught at that meeting, right? Use my name and they'll treat you awesome and be part of the team, and then you can ask for help, right? Because you're part of the team. I can't emphasize that enough. Then finally, let me leave you with this. We'll get you out of here on this, like Tony Kornheiser says. Gang, the biggest thing that you're going to hear from producers, because you'll ask them this, or they get asked this all the time. What is the one thing you would have done different when you got in? If you look back on when you got in, what would you have done different? And I promise you, every single one will say, I wish I would have started building my business sooner. They will all say that. I wish I would have. Now, I don't have to say that because I built my business from jump. And I've made millions of my initial set of agents, my initial 9 agents I brought in. I've made millions on the 2 that stuck around. Millions, literally millions in my 20 years. Because I showed it to a couple of people that got fired up, right? Those 2 people could be on your list too. And look, we're going to interview them. If we think they're knuckleheads, we're not going to let them in because they're going to hurt you. We're not going to let people in that will hurt you or hurt us. We're going to interview them. We're going to see if we feel good about them. Then we'll let them in the party. And we're going to put them on your team. And then we're going to grow them. We're going to teach them. I'm going to do these. I will be doing these boot camps every week. I'm going to be pouring my energy into them. And you're not going to have to do a thing. And then you're going to get the benefit of building your team. Getting to that retirement, tax-free retirement life insurance policy that Andy Albright will write on you. He's got a second opening. He did a first round for the initial set of agents. He's got a second round he's going to do for the other agents that hit the agency manager level and above. He's going to open it up for another group of agents. Can you imagine your upline doing a premium financing where he's putting $500,000 every year for 15 years into your policy, and then you get the benefit of the cash value growth, and you don't pay a dime into it? See, all the blood, sweat, and tears building this business and doing everything we're teaching and hanging in there long enough and going to functions and going to hotspot meetings will pay off, I promise you, if you decide not to quit and you be finally committed to something with all your heart, that this is the thing that's going to help you. And especially when times get rough, we're going to be there to pick you up and dust you off and help you keep going. I promise you. I promise you. If you're willing to do it, I am too. And I will build your business for you until you can start building it yourself. So, man, you got to list the names. We're already rocking Dr. D's. I'll tell you what, man, Dr. D has given us this list, and we are rocking it. Me and Jonah are rocking that list, primarily Jonah right now. But we are bringing people on. I'm interviewing too, so I'm bringing them in. We've got lists going. Julie, like under Dr. D, we've got Julie, and we've got people coming on for her. And then do you see how we're starting to build their team? Dr. D should be fired up because we're building his biggest leg right now. And that could happen for you if you get us started. So, but it's up to you. I'm not forcing you to do it. But here's what I'm telling you is that you don't do it. I'm going to have my attention on this group of people I'm working with, and I won't have time to work your list. I literally won't have time. And then I'm going to teach you how to call your list and but I'm not going to be available to build your group as much as I am with these people that we're rocking with right now. So like do it now so you can grab my attention and I can help you, all right? So rock on, man. God bless. We are done. Man, thank you for attending. Let Ginny know that and I'm going to sign up for my email blast, please. Like that, I sent out invitations. Please sign up. So I'm going to send out the video links. I'm going to send out some additional information for everyone that's on my email blast list for the boot camps. All right. And if you didn't sign up yet, sign up. I'll send you the link if you don't have it for the boot camps this week. All right. So rock on, man. God bless. Appreciate you. Let's do this thing.